Good afternoon and welcome to 200-2565. My name's Vito and I'm a student at TAFE Digital. This afternoon I'll be completing a plant identification key to identify an unknown plant, which is only 10 metres over there. I'm currently outdoors. I don't know how much longer I'll stay outdoors. My intention was to go through the key in an outdoor capacity. However, just over there, about 20 metres away, there's a massive development going on. So I've just had to stop about 5 times due to a number of trucks. So I suspect I won't be doing that for the remainder of the afternoon. But just so I give you a bit of an update, a bit of a background, we'll be using the New South Wales Flora Online key. So for those of you who want to conduct or go through this key with me, I'll be including on the video a link to that particular key so you can get started and I can take you through the family, the genus and the species of the plant we'll go through. I'll take you through in a moment. So taxonomic keys are a tool for identifying which species an unknown plant belongs to. The key consists of a series of choices based on observed features of the plant. By making the correct choice at each level of the key, you should eventually arrive at the name of the unknown plant. Now, a bit of background. I've been working on this assessment for a number of weeks. Now, it's been a bit challenging, but highly rewarding. Challenging in the sense that some of the keys are incomplete, so you might start working on a particular plant, and then you might get as far as a genus, but it doesn't key beyond the genus, so you can't get to the species. So the plant I'll be keying today, I'll share with you the name of the plant. It is a Acacia Baileyana, part of the wattle family, which is many currently in flower at the moment. So this would be a great example of going through the key. It goes all the way through to the species, which is just awesome. And this particular key, the New South Wales Flora Online Plant Net key, is out of all the keys I've used the most helpful, easy to use, resourceful, and I guess as far as it has knows how to work through and make some big inroads as far as a family, etc. A bit quicker than, fairly quicker than a lot of the other keys that I played around with online. If you've started this process and you find it difficult, I strongly encourage you to push through with it, because what it will do is it will increase the vocabulary of your plant vocabulary. You'll get your hands dirty as far as knowing what all that the terminology really means, and put it into practice, and that's been the biggest reward for me. So whilst it has been challenging, I've spoken to some teachers multiple times about that. There is, the benefits. It's by far the most beneficial assessment I've had to do. I've enjoyed most of them. This one is really, really good. On the back here, these are just some of the areas that are this relates to the key. In case you're looking for the terminology and you're not sure what I mean, I just drew some very unhelpful looking pictures, which we should be able to use, but I may take this indoors, but we'll see how we go. So I'll see you in a moment. We're just going to go over to the Cootamundra wattle is the other name of this. That's its common name, the Cootamundra wattle. So we'll go over there in a moment. Okay, now hopefully you're able to see this particular plant here. There are a lot of trees here. There's a lot going on, and including a huge truck in the background. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly take you, not quickly, just with some time, just give you a bit of an overview. So if you can see the plant there, you can see the way it's been growing. I'm going to just move around this tree and explain a couple of things. So firstly, this particular wattle is Acacia Baileyana. This area is quite built up with vines growing, and this has caused this particular tree to grow out towards that way. So east is over there, so as far as you know the directions, and west is out that way. So its main primary sun is blocked by this particular tree. So it's not ideal conditions, given this tree likes a lot of sun. So what it's done, it's forced itself out here, I guess, to get this little window of sun, morning sun, which it comes through there, and it lands on it right here. So it probably hasn't had most ideal conditions for this type of plant, and that's just to explain why it looks like it does, because most trees tend to thrive on this particular property. Now we'll go in. The first thing I'll do is I'm just going to point out what I'll have the general image of the plant, but I'm just going to read some things off, go through some of the morphological characteristics of the plant, the leaves, the flowers, and then goes through what any tactile and sensory characteristics this has. Then we'll work, once you're kind of familiar with that, then we can kind of go inside and start to look at all these features and look at things like those flowers and these beautiful leaves here, these silverish, reddish leaves that come up when they start. So, as you can see, it's a large shrub or a small tree. It grows up to 3 to 10 meters high. This is clearly around just over the two odd meters mark at the moment if you go to the crown, and it can spread up to 6 meters wide in good conditions. Its leaves are almost stalkless, so let's just have a look at these leaves. These leaves fascinate me, absolutely fascinate me. Let me get off, let's have a look at that. Okay, that comes in zoom there. So you can see there's nearly no stalk at all. Now these leaves, this arrangement here, just so you know, it's an alternate leaf arrangement, but at the naked eye, it appears that it is an opposite leaf arrangement, but it is not, it's alternate. And I didn't believe that. I had to take out an eye loop, and that eye loop confirmed that it is in fact an alternate leaf arrangement. So you can see there, you have the primary leaflet, which is this portion here, and then these are the secondary leaflets. Okay, those little feathery pieces coming off, they're the secondaries. Okay, the lowest pair of branchlets on each leaf become smaller, and they're angled backwards with each rachis. Okay, so this is a rachis. This is the rachis is this the rachis is this stem. Okay, I'm struggling to show you. It'll be easier. Is that piece there? So what I'll be doing is adding some. That's the rachis. That stem there. I'll be adding some more photos to go over the commentary as well. The leaves are twice compound, which I've shown you, so we can see they're clearly not simple leaves. They're compound leaves, and they're bipinnate, which is very clear. So that's a leaf. It's a compound leaf. I pointed out that is the leaf, primary leaf, and then they are the leaflets. They're usually silvery grey, which you can see there. They're the same colour both sides, so don't be confused. The only change in the coloration relates to this new growth, this reddish growth, and it gets lighter blue, and then it gets to this darker green over time. Now, it is considered to have the same colour both sides, so be mindful of that. The leaf venation, oh, this is a rip snorter as well. The leaf venation is almost invisible. I used a loop and I thought it was, I couldn't find really any sites that confirm it, but it kind of looks parallel, but it's very difficult to get the viewing, and my microscope just doesn't seem to be able to get it either. So, yeah, that leaf venation, but given it's a dicot, it's likely to just have reticulate venation as per others. Okay, flower and fruits. Let's move around to the fruits. Okay, so I just love looking at the stamens. You know, they help that globular ball. This one's a little bit older, starts going that brown colour. So not a lot of fruit, not a lot of flowering on this particular wattle compared to what I've seen on our wattles on the property, and that just comes down to sun, lack thereof. These are obviously moving on. There's a young one there, and I saw one earlier today. Oh yeah, here she is. And this one you can see has got a couple that are about to come out just there on the end there. Let me just get that into focus. Yeah, and that shot there, right there, can really emphasises the raceme inflorescence there. So the flowers on a raceme, and then the globular flowers on the end. Sorry, not the flowers on a raceme. The inflorescence is raceme. And then the globular flowers at the end, which is just, that's all class. Look at that, beautiful flowers. They're really striking, those particular flowers. the flowers are born in small globular racemes I've just highlighted that are 3 to 10 centimetres long, which will be arranged in elongated clusters, which we can see across. It's elongated flattened pods or legumes. So the pods that come about as a result of the flowers. Not long after now. I don't have any images, but I do have included one from another source in my assessment. So they are flattened pods about 3 to 12 centimetres long. They're hairless and they turn brown or reddish brown as they mature. And these fruits are bluish green inside and whitish powdery substance when they're young. Now, I guess the tactile and the sensory characteristics, the first one is this is like a feather, touching this here. The look, the feel, and then what you get is an amazing, senses are, I guess, eyesight's there, and nothing, as far as I'm concerned, is better than seeing a wattle at this time of year bursting with colour. Now, sadly, this one isn't as bursting as much as I'd like it to be, but I don't have any more on the property that I wanted to conduct this exercise with. So that's our Acacia Baileyana. We're now going ahead and we're going to key this particular variety of wattle, also known as a Cootamundra wattle, into the PlantNet key identification key. And I guess it really doesn't come to the plant, down to the plant. It's really this exercise is about keying and how we get comfortable with reading what's going on with a tree and understanding what the flowers or the leaves, the setup actually is, so we can answer those questions as correctly as we possibly can. Okay, I'll see you shortly. I'll move back to a different location. Hi guys, welcome back here to 200-2565. Hopefully you had a good chance to view the video footage I showed you of the Acacia Baileyana was to your satisfaction, and I wasn't moving around. I'm not a movie producer, so I hope you don't judge me too harshly, teachers, and I hope any other one that views it finds it helpful. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through step by step using the PlantNet plant identification key to go through and identify correctly identify that using a taxonomic plant key. Now, a plant key, so I'd encourage you to go to New South Wales Flora Online. I'll include the link once this is being edited. There'll be a link in there. So it's New South Wales Flora Online, it's PlantNet, and that's the key I'll be working with now. Now, I'm going to obviously include, there's lots of photos that I need to include, and sorry I keep just going to juggle stuff, but what I'm going to just quickly do is put that up there. Now that's, hopefully it goes into focus away from me. Now that's a nice little shoot of a inflorescence. Okay, some flowers that haven't come out, but you can see that structure of the inflorescence, so that'll help with our answering of questions. And this is a great example of the actual leaves. Really, maybe a bit further out, and I'll have a good quality photo online as well to help with that. Okay, all right, so we'll get started. So if you're with me, please, on PlantFire, go to the site, and just got some notes here just so I can make sure I mention everything that I'm required to. Got to keep the teachers happy, and I do want to get a good mark. All right, so on PlantNet, if you go onto the site, there's a section there that says on the left, identification keys. Click on that. Now, as part of the assessment, we're asked the question what division of plants this is, and this particular plant belongs to Magnoliopsida. Okay, so you're on a page now. Class 7 is Magnoliopsida, and that includes plants that are ovules enclosed in a carpel and carpels arranged in flowers, so flowering plants, angiosperms. Okay, all right, so we click on 7 and we can get started on what we're actually going to do here. Now, so the first question is, okay, so we're given choices. So this is what happens when we're using a key. you're giving choices. Well, this particular key I'll talk to, not other keys that I'm not using, but we're going to be given choices. So 2 choices, and we answer that. We select that choice, and it then takes us to the next question or the next decision. So it'll give us another 2 options again, and then we keep moving down until we get to the family, genus, and the species. It's I reckon it's just a good bit of a hard. It's one where you got to work a little bit harder than your general, than your normal. What do you call it? Multiple choice. Okay, but anyway, that's enough of me chatting away. Okay, the first question starts: carnivorous plants, either with glandular hairs or on the leaves, or with bladders 1 to 2 millimeters long, submerged in subterranean leaves. And the next option is plants are not carnivorous. I think I say it properly. Carnivorous, and we know it's not carnivorous, so I didn't get bitten over there. So on the far right there, you'll see an option for 4. So we're going to take that option. 4 states water plants, either plants floating or in water, totally submerged in water, or plants rooted in saline mud, or in permanent water with upper leaves flower in the air. The other choice is plants neither floating or not growing in water. Now, we clearly saw the plant and took you through. I didn't see any water in it, wasn't floating in water. It's surviving, being rooted in soil. So we go to 104. So this is one, I'll just quickly note, one of the beauties of this particular key is we're already on 104. So the key, it's been made quite well. I'm not sure how they particularly structure it. Obviously they go through choices, but with a lot of other keys, you can be caught in those early, you can be caught in it for a long period of time and really making no inroads, which I found this particular key, and don't, you know, I've used multiple, I did try to key multiple plants, 7 or 8, and this is by far the best key. Okay, so we're on 104. Plants are either climbing or epiphytic on other plants. So epiphytic, they're living on the plant and they're using the plant's air to take advantage of nutrients and water. So that wasn't happening there. The plant's clearly living on its own, getting its own water. So plant is neither climbing, so this is the second choice, nor epiphytic, nor parasitic on aerial plants of other plants, so aerial parts of other plants. So we now go to 206, so now gone again, double the distance. On 206, leaves apparently absent, often reduced to scales. So, you know, I've shown you this leaf. Clearly has leaves, so they're not, we'll go to the next question. Leaves present, not reduced to scales. So that's our choice. Now we're up to 230. Now I looked up what it meant by scales, and scales could be like your conifers that don't really have leaves. They've got those scales type of thing. So that's what that refers to. So leaves consistently whorled, or leaves alternate or opposite. Now, for me, this whole concept of world leaves trucks coming through the site, world leaves or world flowers, I've just put it up here. So what you get is world. So imagine that was the plant or the leaf. When they're going around like that, in that direction on a slant angle, that's your world. This is not world, okay? So we know our leaves don't fit that category. I just wanted to show you that because, goodness, far out, bit of carnage going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, all right. So the question then, the second choice we were given, where it was leaves alternate or opposite. We know that they're either or. Now, I did point out that I was of the belief those leaves are opposite, and on initial inspection they are, if you look at them with a naked eye. But if you grab a loop, or you will see they are in fact alternate. Yeah. So just remember. So we're now going to go to 254. I'll just confirm that I'm on track. Yep. Okay, leaves usually with reticulate venation, okay? Vascular bundles open, so I haven't done a test, haven't cut it open, haven't checked the bundles. Secondary thickening, taproot present, big one there, right? When you see a tree of that size, you can pretty much confirm that you have a taproot present. And I know because I've removed one of them before, so I know there's a taproot. At least in seedlings, flower parts usually in whorls of 4 or 5, embryo mostly with 2 cotyledons, so dicots. The other option was leaves usually with parallel venation, okay? Vascular bundles closed, there is no secondary thickening occurring, root system is fibrous, flower parts usually in whorls of 3. Now, I can answer that question purely on the basis that I know that it has a taproot, and that I'm going to go with 255. Also, just in relation to the reticulate venation, I mentioned when I was filming the plant previously that when you actually look at it, to check the venation is incredibly difficult. It's almost invisible. So that's how I've come to that answer there. Okay, so 255. Okay, leaves are compound with 2 or more distinct pennae. Leaves are 1, foliolate or simple. Well, we know this is clearly not a simple leaf. It's just, you know, that we need to know that kind of stuff at the simplest level. Simple. Okay, that is not a simple leaf, that is a compound leaf. Now, if you want to go to the next level, just up here, this is your simple leaf, okay? And then there we have our compound leaf. Now, I like this definition of a compound leaf. A compound leaf can be described as a leaf that contains 2 or more leaflets originating from the same stalk, okay? That's what we have there, okay? That's your simple leaf, that's your compound. And with that definition alone, we're in a position to move to the next level. Okay, next question. Herbs, oh wait there, sorry. Leaves compound, 2 or more distinct pennae, 256. Now we're on 256. Okay, leaves either 2 to 3 pennae or bipinnate. Leaves 1 pennae or palmate. Certainly not palmate. Palmate's when you've got palmate. Not palmate. Okay. And so we've got 2 to 3 pennae. So if we go over here, this is a pinnately compound. This is a pinnately compound leaf. Okay. That's exactly what we have in this example, and I'll ensure that gets put on the post. And that's that actually diagram is going to help us answer a few more questions in a moment. So that alone, it helps a lot. So twice pennae, so just another definition. The leaves are divided into leaflets, which is what we have here, and an extension of the attached along an extension of the petiole called the rachies. So that's the rachies there, and this particular leaf is almost the very small rachies, which we'll get across to later on. There is even a number of leaflets. Okay, so as per the other image I drew earlier, palmate leaves are joined directly to this petiole, this section here. Okay, let's move on, Vito. Focus on. Okay. Okay, so we've gone to 257. Okay. Now, once again, the question, herbs or shrubs and trees? It is a shrub or a tree. 261. Now, the question, pennae with terminal pinnule or segment, or pennae with terminal pinnule or without. Now, if you actually look back at the leaves, now, if you get back enough, at the end of each of those leaflets, okay, the primary leaves, you will see that there isn't a terminal leaf at the end, okay? Or in the center, I always like to put it as. So in the absence of that, okay, so it doesn't have it, it's without, we go to 267. Okay, now this is where you can see there on the identification key, we've only got 2 options now. We've got an answer. We're going to go one way or the other. So the first point here is the flowers are zygomorphic, spines or prickles present. A second choice given to us is flowers are actinomorphic, spines, prickles present or absent. Now, when I went through the tree and I took my photos, I didn't see any spikes or prickles present or absent. Okay, now with zygomorphic means if you were to take and slice across the center plane of the flower, that you would be able to get an equal part. Okay, now that's what you are unable to get an equal part, sorry. Actinomorphic is when you can. Now, with these little lovelies here, these little babies, when we slice one of them straight down the center of the guts, we do indeed get another identical portion. So, actinomorphic, they're radically symmetrical. Flowers can be divided into two equal parts, there's a terminology I wasn't using, by any radial plane passing through the center. Jesus, these blokes are supposed to clean up dust, they're making more, my goodness. Okay, so we click on Fabaceae. So family Fabaceae, subfamily. Okay, I'll check the pronunciation of this. Mimosoideae. So Mimosoideae. That's the subfamily of this. So it's important that you get that part right, because it can go a lot of different tangents if you get the wrong subfamily. Okay, I'll be back with you shortly. That took us a bit longer than I was hoping for, so I will, I'll get onto the genus in a moment. Hi guys, welcome back. We're now going to move on to the next part of the assessment, which is keying in the genus. Okay, so from there you should now have the page should clearly say family Fabaceae, subfamily Mimosoideae, and now we're going to work from there. Okay, so the first choice we're given is mature plants with phyllodes, leaves appearing simple. Well, we know the leaves are not simple, so we've kind of already got a head start. And then the second one says leaves are bipinnate. Now, that gives us the actual correct genus straight up. If we went answer one, it would say Acacia, okay, or Acacia, whichever way you want to pronounce it. However, you've got to answer the question correctly, okay? Our leaves are bipinnate, our leaves are not simple. So it's going to take us a little bit longer. 2, majority of leaflets are greater than 12 millimeter wide. Okay, so when we talk about leaflets, we're talking about the size of the larger whole. Okay, that's the leaflet. Okay, so here it's saying the majority of leaflets are greater than 12 millimeters wide. Usually 12 leaflets per pinnae. Okay, you can count them as you want. You'll get some with 15. They vary, so there's no consistent amount. Okay, this is actually said less than 12. I've got 15, 16. This is what you need to do the tests, and you'll see that there are more than that. So we're kind of disproving this one very quickly. Plants neither spiny nor bristly. Okay, next part is leaflets less than 12 millimeters wide. Okay, that's starting to stack up. Less than 12. And either numerous per pinnae, which is what we're getting, numerous. So, given that, we can take 4 and we disregard the latter part of that. Okay, so we now go to 4. Now, just be mindful that the page, unless there's significant number of more choices, it won't scroll up, so you need to physically look and go, okay, 4's there. Stamens usually 5 or 10. Take a close look at this, and I think even from here, you'll be able to determine that the stamens, how many there is. There is significant number of stamens. On one of the photos in the assessment that I'll include, you'll see there's I don't know if there's hundreds, but there's more than bloody 20, that's for sure. More than 10. Stamens numerous, so we're going number 8. Okay, last question now. Last set of choices. Stamens free, usually less than 8 millimeters long. Okay, so I know by looking at it that it's less than 8 millimeters long. And flowers in globous heads. bulbous. Stamens united into a tube or base. Nah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that gives us Acacia. We've got Acacia, we've got the correct genus, but we had to go through the questions. Not just sitting there going, oh, I know it's that, I'm gonna run to that. You've got to answer the questions. Well, that's been my experience. Okay, I'm gonna take another drink break and be back with you shortly. Welcome back here at 2565, ladies and gentlemen. We've done well. We've keyed in the family, we've keyed in the genus, and we're now on the home front, heading towards location or destination, Baileyana, but we need to answer the questions right, and do this properly. It's very, very important. So let's get started. For the final run home, there's a few questions in this one, not as straightforward as a genus. Okay, first one, mature leaves are reduced to phyllodes, immature bipinnate leaves, usually not persisting, although sometimes reappearing. Phyllodes are always present on mature plants. So if you're familiar with wattles, you'll know that that's a very, we're talking acacia, we're already in that genus. You may know some of these types of wattles that this particular question is referring to. I have some on the property a bit below, but not what we're talking about today. Mature leaves are still bipinnate, okay? I've looked at the mature leaves, they still look exactly like that. Some of them drop off, but the leaves and the arrangement, everything's still the same. Phyllodes never or rarely produced. I've looked at the plant looks fine. So we're on number 12 now. Okay, pinnules greater than 2 millimeters wide, or pinnules less than 2 millimeters wide. Okay, so your pinnules are the secondary leaves, okay? So your pinnules are those little ones. They're your pinnules, okay? Those little tiny ones. So the question stated, pinnules, one second, lost my computer. Pinnules greater than 2 millimeters wide, or so I know they're certainly less than that just by looking at them. Okay, so on this part up here, this was your pinnule, just one of those little ones. That's what it is. And once you can look at it diagrammatically, you can start answering these questions really easily. So we're going to 277. Yep. 377, sorry. Yeah, 377. Okay, flower heads on simple axillary peduncles, or flower heads on extended axillary or terminal racemes. Now, I showed you that earlier, and I explained when we were videoing the plant that you can just see from that the structure of it. And if you have a look at the structure of it holding the flowers, that it is clearly raceme, and it's not basic. So we can go to 380. 380, lower surface of the pinnacles distinctly paler than the upper surface. Lowest, the same color. These are the same color. Okay, we're talking about the little leaflets, sorry. The little leaflets, front, back, same color. And don't forget the question or choice was distinctly paler. So you might get some variation, but it's not distinctly. So we move to 390. Okay, 390 states leaves with 1 to 3 pairs of pannae. Nope, it's not correct. Pinnules widely spread. No, ours are really compressed. 4 to 10 pairs per pannae. We know that it's numerous. Glabrous, confined to the, okay, so none of that makes sense, okay? And then the next choice we're given is without the combination of characters in distribution. So, tick, we're going to 391. Sorry for the noise, we're nearly done. Okay, 391, leaves sessile or petiole regularly less than 5 millimeters wide, long. So the leaves and the sessile less than 5 millimeters long, okay? Now that's a bit more, okay? Okay, leaves with petiole greater than 5 millimeters long. Okay, so leaves. So we're going back to did some definitions here, very important. Okay, the sessile, when the leaf blade is attached directly to the stem. That is when there is no petiole, okay? So, this particular question, once again, leaves and the sessile or petiole regularly less than 5 millimeters long. And that's what we have. We've checked that and we know that. So we go to 392. Leaves strongly glaucous, ash grey or bloomish. So glaucous means that they've got that grey colour, powdery colour. Juggary glands, 1 or 2 pairs of pennae. So the glands, the juggary glands are these ones here. You'll see them in all the leaves, some more. If you look in the assessment, there are some that actually have quite a number of these. They're on the uppermost side, and you can see them just where the rachis connects. You can see those juggary glands. They're quite prominent, as it says in the thing. In the key, they are prominent. I found that varies leaf to leaf, but yeah, you find some that are quite prominent. Then the next part is so the juggary glands. We've got the glaucous, except for the lowest 1 or 2 pairs of the pennae. Inflorescence, usually 1.5 times the length of the leaf rachis. And so we land on Acacia Baileyana. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I hope I've answered my assessment correctly. I hope you're satisfied that I was able to do that without, with actually knowing what I was talking about, And yes, if there's any questions, feel free to send me an email and I'm more than happy to answer them. Thank you very much.